City of Hamilton held an historic event today honoring National Indigenous Veterans Day at the site of a battle where First Nations soldiers fought to protect Canada. Al Sweeney joins us live in studio tonight with the story. Al.
Hi there, Matt. Well, Indigenous Veterans Day has been observed more and more across Canada over the past 30 years, honoring Indigenous veterans ahead of Remembrance Day. But this was a first for Hamilton. With wreaths and traditional music at the Eagles Among Us monument in Stoney Creek, the city reached out to Indigenous people.
November 11th, it's a little bit of a broader scope, but for today, November 8th, we're recognizing our past warriors as well as our currently serving servicemen and service people.
With police joining the city in the memorial.
I think it's important that we honor all veterans, including our Indigenous veterans, and the police are very supportive of that.
Make sure that we clearly understand as a community, we cannot forget.
The monument is on a battlefield from the War of 1812, where First Nations warriors played a critical role in protecting Canada from an invasion by the United States. Today, they also reflected on the 12,000 Indigenous soldiers who fought in the two world wars in Korea. Among them, Marilyn Wright's grandfather and great-uncles, shown here in a 1941 photo.
At least half of the people in this regiment are First Nations.
Marilyn brought the photo to be part of the ceremony honoring the Indigenous soldiers who fought for Canada, even though she says they suffered for it, often losing their official Indian status, land, and the right to live on the reserve.
They wanted to maintain their rights, that though they didn't have any rights at the time.
After 80 years, she says reconciliation might be working.
Got a long way to go, but we've started.
City Councillor Brad Clark had pushed for this memorial.
I think we need to encourage and celebrate and remember all of the Indigenous soldiers that served for Canada in some very trying times.
It really does reflect on the contributions that First Nations, Métis and Inuit people provided in all of the battles that Canada has been involved in.
And former Six Nations Chief Dave General says this memorial shows there's hope that things can get better.
We need to have everyone realize what conflict has done over, not way before the First World War and the Second World War. You talk about the War of 1812, where our ancestors, I think we were basically looking after our rights to be on this land. So Canada's Congress of Aboriginal Peoples says it wasn't until 1995 that Indigenous people were allowed to lay wreaths at the National War Memorial in Ottawa on November 11th. That was when Indigenous Veterans Day started.